Got it.
All right. Yes. Here we go. Hi. Well, thank you all for joining. Once you do hop on, I know we are here a little bit later than usual, thanks to technology, and full moon energy is what we're going to just blame it on. And today, as usual, we're doing our Mondays healers talks. And today we thought we'd talk about placebo versus nocebo. My name is Anuschka. I'm an empowerment health coach and energy healer.
Hello there, and I am Jacob Moya. I'm also an energy healer and a researcher of all things energy.
Yes.
And today we have a topic that is very, very interesting, and it also connects with everything else that we've been doing. The last two meetings, we've been talking about manifestation and the process of manifestation. And the topic that Anuschka selected for today is this placebo-nocebo effect. And it's very interesting because it's always about our beliefs, right? Yep. Even for the manifestation process, that play an effect, you know. You are the placebo. It's another way to put that you are a victim of the circumstances. You know, you are a victim of your beliefs, of the things that you think that are real, good, or bad for you. You know, and then we create a whole story in our brains based on that information, and eventually we drag that experience that we are trying to avoid towards us. Joe Dispenza uses a lot of phrase that in every single video that you see him, he's gonna throw it because it's so powerful, to the point that nowadays, to the clients that I'm working with, I ask them to put it in the photo on the lock screen of their phones, so they can actually see that phrase all the time. And that phrase is so powerful that it takes time for you to honestly see how that is describing how you are living or what you are bringing into your life. And it's a very simple phrase that says that when you put your attention, your energy follows, you know. And hopefully we don't gonna have minors watching this, and I'm sure that we don't, because our videos take too much time and they don't have time for that. They just want things like 2-3 seconds and move, right? But you know, we all, well, I wouldn't say we all, but I will say like 99.9% of the people they come to this planet and enjoy life, we all are carrying this amazing program inside of us that in a natural way, we learn how to self-satisfy and release our sexual urges, right? And now the reason that I'm bringing that up is because it's something that everybody can relate to, right? In one way or another, you pretty much practice that, right? A self-release, and is based on a fictitious mental picture that you are living, right? You create an image, you create a sensation, and you evolve your whole self to the point that it creates inside of your body an energetic change, a shift. Your heart starts beating faster, your blood and your oxygenation is going through all the veins at a different pace that when you are at rest. And then you have this physical release when you go through climax, right? Now, that is because you are giving yourself the permission, first of all, to know that you can reach those levels of pleasure or self-pleasure. And second, because you are going through the ritual, right? So now when we're talking about placebo and nocebo, is these words, not these words, these actions that you tell to yourself or that someone else tells to yourself, they go inside of you at the same level of vibration that you have when you are reaching those climaxes, and you believe them. And you believe that they are true, and that you believe that the outcomes are what everybody else is expecting as an outcome. When in reality cannot be that way. It's because we are all unique. We are different. Your body is constantly adapting and shifting itself to the biology, to the terrain. That's how we call it, to the internal terrain, right? So the levels of oxygenation, the levels of nutrition, of hydration that you have inside of your body, the amount of energy that you have in your body, but especially the levels of stress that you have in your body are gonna decide how you feel and how you are. And the awful thing is that we are the ones that are creating all those symptoms inside of us. But we are doing it on a very unconscious way because we don't know that we are carrying those emotions inside of us. And that's why Anuschka is making a living helping you to release that. And I'm making a living helping people to release that because it's hidden inside of you. It's there, and it's usually connected to a similar event that you lived in the past when you first get that program inside of your brain, and those programs can be as simple as your mother telling you you look exactly like your father, or you are exactly like your father, and you believe in it, and then comes inside of you. Yeah, it takes over, and now you're gonna prove her right, and you're gonna become more like him, and eventually you're gonna carry the diseases, the symptoms that he went through life, and it's dramatic. It's very, very dramatic how we affect our own lives.
Yeah.
Now,
let me add something here, because
yes,
people actually, like, what I've noticed is I use this placebo versus nocebo all the time, right? And placebo, I feel like everybody knows what that is. Everyone's like, oh yeah, placebo. It's the sugar pill that doctors give. And then, a lot of times even the people that take the sugar pill end up getting healed, right? So it's like that positive belief that has you believe that what you're taking is going to heal you. So therefore you end up healing, which shows the power of the mind. Well, when I ask people, have you heard of nocebo? I'm not joking you. I don't think I've yet have met someone that has heard of nocebo. And so that's why I really wanted to also clarify that, because placebo, it's practically, like, at this point, a scientific term. And I've talked to people that are in the health system, right? Like medical doctors and whatnot. And even they have not heard of nocebo. It's like a term that's like not even used at all. But really what that nocebo is, it's like no different than placebo for those of you that haven't heard of it. It's just the difference is that it's actually harmful because you're having more so some kind of negative belief rather than a positive one. So for instance, I'm so passionate about this because when I was going through everything with my brain tumor journey, the surgeon gave me a life sentence, right? A prognosis, which I believe to be a nocebo. And I, of course, through the work, I've come to this conclusion. Didn't know that at the beginning. And then I heard so many, like Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Deepak Chopra. They've all, in different ways, on different things that I've read or watched, they really talk about prognosis is a nocebo effect. Prognosis is a predictable future. So when someone tells you that, it ends up having a nocebo effect, because all of a sudden something changes in the mind where you start to believe that, oh my gosh, these doctors' words are true. Like someone's like, you have 6 months to live. And if you take on that word, just like what you said in regards to you're just like your father, it's no different. If you take that on, well, then what's going to end up happening, even if you're not consciously aware of it, and it just sits in your unconscious or subconscious or however, you have that doubt rather than looking at it as like, no, my life can be increased and I can do all the things by becoming healthier. That changing my habits, making healthy choices, having healthy habits, having a healthy mindset, shifting my energy, doing energy releasing, right?
Yeah, and it's you have to think of how everything is. Like when we were doing the manifestation process, the very first thing, I mean, the last step is the manifestation itself, you know, what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that place, we have to do a release, you know, we do some breathing exercises, we start preparing the body, we start having this coherence between brain and heart and all that stuff. We start moving out of the body, and then we go to the place. Now, what Anuschka is saying is so powerful because when in actually we should have called it just the nocebo effect because it's so important that when you are feeling sick, you're feeling vulnerable, right? So first of all, you something is happening inside of you and you have no clue whatsoever why or how or when it's going to go away or the results of that thing. So you feel very vulnerable. You feel very open because we, for by nature, we are afraid of dying and we are afraid of experiencing pain. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and so just go to that mindset. That already shifts you the energy inside of you, right? You are vulnerable. So when you are vulnerable, what happens, and we talk about this in many other lives, your subconscious mind doors are open, right? Because you are being threatened by something. For your body, it can be an accident, it can be a fight, it can be a discussion with a loved one, or it can be something internal. It's no different. It's threatening because your body reacts based on the chemicals inside of you. It's a biological chemistry shift,
Yeah,
and it's based.
it's a sympathetic nervous system all of a sudden
Yes,
in
yes, get activated
survival
and all that
mode.
thing. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, because you're vulnerable, right? So now your brain, your subconscious mind is taking notes of everything that is happening. Now you are going with that situation, this pain, this feeling, this anxiety, and you go to see a doctor because he's a person of authority, and you see a guy with a white robe on it and the white coat, and you see in his office all these different certifications because they're like medals. So they have, oh, he finished medical school in this place, and he took this specialization here and this specialization there. And so you are already making him a godlike person in earth, right? He is the healer, right? So you're going to see him with that. So that's another component. You're vulnerable and you're seeking advice from a person of a wise person, you know, that knows and understands the biology inside of your body. And he does this routine exam, and he sends you to the labs, and he sends you to get all these different tests, and you see all these powerful machines, and everybody's looking you like I'm sorry for you, you know, I'm sorry that you are going through this, and you are only seeing sick people just walking, like barely walking, and doing the thing over there, and and you remember it's environment, right? So it's the terrain, the external terrain, and you keep feeding yourself and you keep feeling bad because why I'm taking this same test that this guy that can barely walk is taking, you know, I don't feel that bad, but my doctor is very wise and he wants to say, okay, so now if the test is good, your doctor is going to say, oh, you're so lucky. You know, you don't have what I thought that you were having. Man, you know, his words are like magic. You put a smile on you,
It's so
you
true.
know, but remember, your subconscious mind is recording. And then he tells you, but if you keep eating this thing, or you keep doing this, or that, this is your future, you know? And now turns out that you are living a lifestyle And that is impossible for you to live in a different way, because in one way or another, we all live the best way that we can, right? So if you are having all these behaviors, it's because that's what you can do. It's not because you choose them in the morning. You know, you say, I'm gonna eat a hamburger because it only takes 2 minutes to get it on my table, and probably 10 minutes to eat it, and I'm set for the day so I can go back to work. You don't say those things. You know, you just go to work, and then when you're hungry, it's like, I need to eat something fast now, you know. So most likely you're gonna stay with the same habits. Even if you change them for a week, eventually you're gonna go back to where you used to be, you know? And so he just sent you a sentence. He just gave you a sentence. Now, if the exams are wrong, you know, and they show something inside of you, instead of him going through your age, your genes, your lifestyle, your ability to change things, he just going to a statistic.
Yep.
And brings that statistic to you, to your face, and tells you, you know what, this is what you have, this is the treatment that I do, but I gotta be honest with you. Boom!
And they have to. And what's like really, it pisses me off, honestly. They have to because of liability, because they don't want to get sued. So they have to. And it's like, I remember when I was told, like, so the tumor I had initially, because that's before I met you, Jacob, but initially it was like a stage 3, right? Like, you know, I don't care for labels. I don't even remember the name of what the tumor was. It was angio, God knows what. And that's when I got like the life sentence, right? Life sentence based on statistics. By the way, statistics that are who knows how old, who knows what kind of people, right? No idea. No idea. And it's a statistic. And unfortunately, it creates a narrative in the collective as well. So then they could tell me this. The second time when it got escalated, they were about to talk about the problem. I mean, you should have seen the look on their face. It was as if like they got like struck by lightning or something when they were going to tell me. And I was like, okay, it's escalated. And then they were, and I told them, I was like, do not, I was so very much like, do not tell me a prognosis. I'm like, you tell me how my stitches are doing, and that's all I want to know from you. And I always tell my clients that I'm like, look, don't hear that shit because it's not going to do you any good. If anything, it's going to be like a total, it messes with your mind. Don't go research stuff about it, because again, you're going to always find the worst case scenario. And that's just not worth it because it messes with the mind. So,
and you know, I opened this conversation by the intimate self-release that we do, right? And so now I want to go to the same thing, because that's exactly what's happened. You know, when you are accepting all that prognosis, when you're accepting the statistics, now it's in your brain, and everything else gets blocked out of your life. You know, you don't care about your co-workers anymore. You don't care about the car that you're driving, the purse that you're having, all the stuff that used to be important for you just goes out of the table, and all your focus and all your attention, therefore all your energy, is into this thing. But the problem is that you are seeing this thing as a sickness, you know, as a symptom, in as a statistic, right? Because you are learning about it, you are researching about it, so you are basically bringing all the magnetism, all the power of manifestation that you have inside of you to that thing. Even though you are doing it to avoid it or to become wise about it, you are bringing it to yourself, because your subconscious mind don't know the difference between what you want and what you know. It knows that you're in danger, that you are vulnerable, that you feel weak, and then this is where all your attention is. So it assumes that it's very important for you to have the experience. And now you are going to see the holistic clinics, and you're doing the naturopath thing, and you're eating all the good stuff, and it's not going no way. I wonder why. you know, because you keep seeing it, and you're dreaming about it. When you go to sleep, you're dreaming about it. And in those dreams, you know, I don't have any experience when it comes to interpretation of dreams, but I do understand the basics. And the basics is like if you are sleeping and you're dreaming about the sickness that you have, you definitely are not in repair, in rest and rebuild. You know, you're definitely are not in that state. You are still in beta waves, which is stress, which is cortisol, which is adrenaline, which is all these toxic acidic environment that you are creating inside of your body, that it only contributes to the sickness and the symptom that you are experiencing. You know, it's not helping to go the opposite way. It's only helping the enemy right now, you know, what you are trying to avoid. So these words that Anuschka are telling you are extremely important, very wise indeed. You know, avoid all things related to that. You know, what you need to focus all your attention so your energy can follow is in learning how to relax, how to be fine, how miracles are being manifested for all people, all kinds of people, you know, not just you, but all different kinds of people in different ways. On the I think it was the last one I was talking to you. I was sharing with you about the FedEx truck, and I rephrase that as, oh, the blessing of the day, you know, miracle one, you know, because I choose to focus on that thing. So my energy, my
too. That's the other
right,
thing.
right, and but magnetism.
Not to just be like, oh, whatever, that just happened, but really feel the gratitude of like, look, this happened. It could have not, right?
In my case, to be honest, I even skip the gratitude because I am assuming that it's already part of my life. It's part of my experience. Now you can start with gratitude because the energy of gratitude is extremely powerful as well. It's like the lock that closed the door with you inside. You know, it's like you accepting the miracle and closing it. Because when you are grateful to someone, it's like if someone give you a gift, if someone give me a cup, it's like, oh, thank you very much. It's very beautiful. It's accepting it and taking ownership. It's like you take it from them and you bring it to you, and now it's yours. You know, that's a seal contract, right? So that's beautiful, but it's not the only way. You know, it's not the only way. I mean, you can take it to a step further eventually, once this is often what you focus on, and just become it. And then you don't have to be, I don't have to be grateful about this cup because it's mine. You know, it just find its owner. You know, I just receive it. All the other people are instruments that are bringing to you these things. And when you go through healing processes, either biodecodification, which is kind of like the Germanic new medicine, or these processes that dispense through meditation and that kind of rules, Lipton. It's all about you becoming and receiving, attracting the things that you want in your life. That is your status. Your status is the manifestation, but always paying attention to what the things that you are bringing to your awareness. Absolutely. Because that is the secret. If you bring to your awareness the information, the statistic that the guy with the white coat is giving you, you know, you are setting up yourself for a very long and painful battle, you know. And that's what we are trying to avoid. What we want to do is the opposite all the time, the opposite. In life, usually things are complicated and hard, but they're worth it. Like, for example, if you save your money and eventually you have for the down payment of your house, and you purchase your house, and you make the sacrifices for not changing your car and paying your house and all that stuff, eventually you're going to have a place where you can live that you don't have to make payments on, you know, or it's going to build up equity. If you choose to to, instead of having the hamburger made for you in a matter of minutes, if you choose to go for the salad and choose not to have all your taste buds, you know, flying around like they're in the party because you're eating the hamburger with the cheese and all the greasy stuff and the bread and so on and so forth, and you're eating lettuce instead. Well, it also is going to pay off, right? Because once the party is finished, the rest of the body needs to process all the garbage that we eat. And if you bring good stuff on it, once you forget about the flavor, you're going to get all the benefits inside of your body as well. You know, so those are the things that you have to pay attention. But it's always about that. It's always about paying attention, being aware of what you're paying attention to, you know, and accepting only the things that are empowering to you, you know, or for you, you know, that's it. The rest of the stuff, leave it to the professionals. There are the doctors, they need to deal with that. And if you choose one of those alternative ways to heal yourself, always do it under supervision of a doctor. You know, tell them, you know, I want to do this instead. Let me give it a shot. Let me try it for a month. If it gets worse, you know, I'm gonna follow your advice. But if it doesn't, you know, be a team player. You know, let's do this together. You know, let's be one of the cases that your other clients are gonna get inspired by. You know, sell it to him. Sell to him at the same level that he is. Don't look at him like, oh my God, he's all wise. It's like, you know, I want to do this and I want to try this thing. So
Absolutely.
That's my suggestion, guys. That's my suggestion. Now,
let me ask you something though, right? So let's say like with this full moon energy, for instance, right? People's emotions, I feel like start to go all over the place and just weird things end up happening, which cause people's emotions to again flare up. So in times like that, what advice do you have to take on like in different situations where people, and let's say they're like a married couples or even people that have roommates, right? Where you're like
right.
people. So how do you see focusing on a positive, right? Where you focus on is where where your energy goes.
Okay. First of all, it's not a bad season. You know, it's having a full moon. It can be an amazing season as well. Second, I'm gonna rephrase the question in a simple way so that people can understand my answer. You are asking me, how can I solve this financial issue that I'm carrying right now? And it's like, well, with your savings, yeah, but I don't have savings. Well, that's the thing, you need to build up the savings account in order to have money for the rainy day, right? You need to take care of your health before you have the issue in order for you to resist having the issue in the first place, right? Now, if you are a married couple, the most important thing is communication. That is the most important thing, to have open communication. And this is very important. Having an open communication does not mean be hurtful to the other person and be telling them all the things that they do wrong. When I work with
or blaming, by the way, too.
Yeah. When I work with people that have children, like teenagers, that's a difficult age, I usually tell them to be very careful of the Pareto law, right? Which is the 80-20, right? But be very careful in the sense that you have to tell to your children 80% of the time all the things that they're doing wrong, if you're gonna dare to tell them the 20% of the time the things that they're doing wrong. I mean, 80% of the things that they're doing right, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say
20%, yeah, and 20% the things that they're doing wrong. Why? Because remember, this thing is the emotional thing, subconscious is open, you feel vulnerable because you screw up, you did something wrong, and either at school or something you stole or whatever, you had an accident, everything. So you already feel bad because you know that you did something wrong, right? And then shoot, I gotta come clean with my parents, and you come clean, and then it's a tsunami of garbage coming to you, First of all, they don't give you any motivation, to be honest, next time,
Good.
Second of all, you know already that you did wrong, you know. You are just letting them know to come clean to don't make it even worse. So the idea here is that you already have in your reserves all that 80% of the times that you're doing things that are being acknowledged as good, right? So when that tsunami comes, is not as powerful as the other used to be, that's what it matters. So now in a relationship is no different. The problem is that we are trying to solve our differences when the emotions are excited, and that is very challenging, because
Yeah.
there's a very tiny bell that creates a shift from understanding the argument to going to a defensive mode, and try to prove to the other person that they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the challenge. That is the real challenge, because if you want to tell to your tell me something fictitious that happens between couples, something whatever, something that you hear.
A perfect one. One of my clients talks about this where they can't decide, for instance, what to watch on the TV together.
Okay.
They like have the same.
So we're gonna assume the man, just going through stereotypes, right? The man likes action movies with a lot of guns and chasing and that kind of thing,
Yeah,
and she probably like Star Wars or sci-fi or a romantic comedy or something of that sort, right? So now there's a way to communicate things. First of all, it's a partnership, right? So in a partnership, you need to share. It's share space. It's no longer my space. For that, you have to be on your own. I'm on my own, and I can choose to watch Netflix, or I can choose to read a book, or I can choose to just go to sleep. Right? It's just me. But if I am in a partnership, it's ours. It's for the good of both. So for example, if they're arguing all the time because the guy always wants to see his things, it's like you need to pinpoint the things that he do after that. Like for example, I just give you an example, a very great example, by the way. Is like, let me ask you a question. When you go to sleep, do you usually dream about the TV program or the movie that you just watch? Most likely he's gonna say yes, he's honest, right? Because we all do, right? So second is, do you think that it's good for your body to be in the same stress that you are right now when you're watching the movie, when you are supposed to be resting? And it's gonna be a good day for you tomorrow. It's gonna be a bad day because you didn't rest, And now
here's the thing though,
you
because
can,
what if they say it's not stress, it's entertaining?
yeah, it's an entertaining. That's when the pendulum becomes so magical,
So
because
that's
you
the
can
thing.
just pull the pendulum and show how the energy is when they are watching that thing.
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
I can
don't
feel
get me
it,
wrong.
but not
Don't
everybody
get me
can,
wrong.
right?
I love those type of movies. I love them, love them, love them, love them. And I have a surround system and my Bose surround system, and I have a 3D TV, so I can be all immersed in the shooting and the chasing and on the explosions. And when there's an explosion and the whole room is like
The whole thing, yeah.
vibration, is like, oh Lord, this is it. This is art. It's really, really creating an emotion. But it's my body's gonna pay. My body's gonna pay, because like I said, I'm gonna dream about that thing not only one night. I'm gonna dream about that thing for 3 nights.
Oh yeah,
you know
I can't do it anymore.
yeah, and that's how it is. Honestly, I neither am I. That's why I barely watch TV, because it's difficult. It's difficult. So, but the thing is, is just entertainment, or even the games, you know, is just entertainment. Um, you can just go to this area of the neck behind them and touch them right there.
Mm.
And if it's not soft, you can show it that way. This is your entertainment, you know, it's stress. And what happens, if you learn a little bit about the craniosacral pump and the fluid that goes up and down through your spine, and how these muscles work, because when they are like rocks, they're closing the area where that fluid works, or travels through your body. So the problem with that is that the rest of the organs are not receiving the energy that they need to rebuild themselves, and eventually it's going to have an issue, you know. But most likely that person is going to experience some sort of issues in the stomach, when, you know, digestive issues, blowing stomach, that kind of thing, or and headaches, you know. And headaches, they're also related with this, because it's all the energy that is stuck in your brain, because all these parts are not allowing that energy to flow and to release your body through your feet. You know, that's how it is. That's how it is. I mean, it's now science catch up with all this stuff. So you have to see all that research. So now you can do it as a test. Like, okay, let's watch together one of your movies and let's see how you are and how you feel, and then let's watch together in a different day one of my movies and let's see how you feel. Now, it doesn't mean that he's gonna avoid it, but it's gonna be, again, like a shared experience. You know, sometimes one, sometimes the other. And one of the things that I used to do when my daughter was watching her cartoons that were very boring to me. Uh, Now the cartoons don't even look like persons or animals, and they are all rare, you know, and they are hitting each other, and yeah, they were very boring to me. So I usually, but it was very important for her that I was with her, you know. But she was so immersed in the cartoon that she didn't know what I was doing, you know. So I usually put her with me to watch the cartoons, and I have my book, or I was doing something else, you know. And so I was with her doing what I wanted. And when she caught me and she told me, "Oh, but you're not watching," and I said, "No, I'm here with you, and I am enjoying a lot seeing you watch what you want, but I have to do this for me," you know. And she understood. She understood, and it was fun for both of us, and we spent a lot of time together, a lot of grown up time, because she was with me. She actually went with me to see clients many times, because I couldn't leave her anywhere, you know. So she was coming with me, and I give her games, and she was doing her games while I was doing my work, and it was fun, and it was fun, it was fine. So the thing here is, find a lovely way to say something, you know. Another thing that is very important is when you are going to fight, because your couple is giving you a hard time with something that you need to put a stop on him or her. uh Start always with, "I love you, and because I love you, this thing is very painful, you know, this thing is really hurt, you know." But always open up with that,
You love and
because you are trying to find a middle ground. And you can even say that, I don't want you to change all the time. I just want you to kind of like meet me in the middle, you know. And it's always because I love you, you know, not because you're wrong, not because etc etc, you know. It's always because of love. Because honestly, that's the reason why we do the things. That's the reason why we discuss. But when we are doing someone something wrong, something that they did wrong, they have to defend themselves. If we are pushing them towards the wall, they have to defend themselves. They don't have any other choice. And it's the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of a very awful argument. So try to avoid that. It's not worth, honestly, it's not worth it at all. You know, it's way better to come into middle ground, come to senses, and do things that are good for everybody. You know, um, I have an excellent exercise that I taught the people that are doing the meditations with us, to release all that frustration, you know, to let it go out of your system, because that's also very important. You don't want to keep eating all that stuff, you know, to keep having all that stuff inside of you. You want to be able to release it. Say it again.
I did that on Friday, by the way.
Oh, good, 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 good. And it helps.
Yeah, it
It
really
helps.
did.
It helps.
It did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's another one when you grab all the energy and you just give it to the floor, you know, because it feels so tense in the house. It's just get rid of all that. Get rid of all that stuff. And these things really, really work. I mean, people that can see energy see the difference, you know, and it's important, guys, that you give yourself that opportunity, an opportunity to do something different. But going back to the topic of today, you know,
Yeah, placebo.
what can you do if you are having this effect, you know, or you cannot become the placebo in the change that you want to realize, or you are still carrying a lot of the nocebo? That's where meditations really, really, really help you know, because you learn a system to come back inside of you to try to change something, you know, to try to understand your ability to control your mind and your thoughts. Because when we are meditating, we are awake, but our energy is the same energy that we have when we are on a sleep state, you know, and that's very important, because it will allow you to relax and it allows you to reprogram yourself in the ways that you truly want, or want to be reprogrammed. You know, so don't miss it, guys. This is today.
Yeah,
It's only $20, and it's from 7 to 8 Pacific.
about 5 hours. Wait, no, yeah. Yes.
Time's flying.
Yeah, so I feel like this was very powerful. I would definitely take this on for those of you that are either watching or watch this replay, is just start to notice where you're coming from placebo, have placebo language versus nocebo language. I'm gonna make a post. I found this like a really great um like a like different columns where they show the different languages for
Mhm.
each. And I was going to do a post about that this week, which is why I thought this would be a great topic to talk about energetically as well, and from
Excellent.
like a healer standpoint. And I'm going to share more about that as well. I'm very, very passionate when it comes to this, because I feel like so many people, because of prognoses, end up losing hope and end up actually dying when they could have completely shifted that around in their life, just by
A
shifting
lot.
their mindset, shifting their belief, their subconscious belief, releasing the fear, right? Because fear is the worst thing you can do to yourself, whether that's fear, anxiety, whatever you want to name it. It's all very low frequency. And when you're coming from that place, well, you're going to manifest that. So that's really what I wanted to talk about too.
Yeah, affects your magnetism, guys. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. I mean, you can see the difference between the people that self-heal themselves and people that have a hard time. And it's like the people that are having a hard time, they always ask for, just tell me exactly what I need to do
Yeah, give me the
so I
how.
can,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, it's not one thing, you know, but the shift is internal, it's here. It's not something that you can purchase, it's not something that you can do. It's a practice, you know, it's a practice that need to help you to get out of the place where you are and get to the place that you want to be, you
Yeah.
know. And like I said, the time to fill up the bank with the energy that you need is when you don't need it, you know. So guys, meditation is for that. Meditation is for that, to start making deposits in that area.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let me see if anybody has written anything. Okay, Farnas on Facebook said, good question. I'm assuming that was in regards to what I had asked. And then we got some waves and highs, and Miss Detailer saying salam and Farsi. Hi, how are you? Salam. Thank you for joining. So if you have any other questions whatsoever, let us know. Otherwise, join us tonight for meditation. I will post more information on that, on how you can make a payment to Jacob, and join us in a few hours.
Definitely, please do, guys. You won't regret it. And just remember that, you know, if you are capable of self-pleasuring yourself, just pay attention to the technique that you're using and apply it to self-heal yourself, and apply it to have an amazing relationship if you're in a relationship, you know, with the same attention to detail, with the same focus, so all your energy can follow you to create what you want when you're envisioning it for yourself. You
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Oh, great. Farana says she'll do the meditation. I can send you the information. I'm going to post it in the comments, Farana's. So that way, hopefully, you'll be able to join us. So, yay. Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody.
Alrighty, guys.
Have a great rest of your Monday. Bye.
Bye bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us today.